In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to get the least amount of air bubbles in your clear resin epoxy. I'm going to be using Alumilite Amazing Clear Cast Epoxy. The first thing you're going to want to do is give it a warm water bath. Now, it's not going to eliminate all the bubbles. There's a lot of factors that go into play. I have had instances where I haven't had any bubbles at all. I just have this funky pitcher that I use, so I'm going to take, these aren't even open yet. I'm going to take part A and B, put them in here. Got some warm water, and we're going to pour it in there. It looks dirty, but it's just stained. Who cares anyways, right? It's epoxy. About halfway is good. All right, and then you just want it to warm up. Here's one that's already dried and completed. It's got a little dust on it, but if you really look, there are no bubbles. Let's see, is that a bubble? It's just dust. I can't even see those dots with my eyes, but I see it in the camera. I'm not sure if that's, oh yeah, it's just dust. So this is what we're going for. See the dust, it's been sitting on my floor. This one isn't full, so we're gonna fill this one. I'm gonna use the globes because that is one of the only molds with IOD that is crystal clear. So you'll really be able to see the difference. Let's take this one out. Look at that. That is unbelievably clear. I believe that's just static dust. Let's see. That right there is air bubbles. So we got that little bit in this whole thing. So that's pretty good. Like I said, it's possible to get none, but it's not an easy task. But you can eliminate, once you have, you decorate this and paint that, you're not going to see those anyways. So it's not that big of a deal, but it'll just make pouring your clear resin more satisfying. Our resin has been soaking probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You want to wipe all the water off of your bottles. Resin and water does not mix well at all. The IOD molds per each mold have a milliliter and a gram. The gram is for how much clay you're going to need, and the milliliter is how much liquid. 45 milliliters, and then we got to finish this one off. This one's got some dust in it though. This one is 47. We're going to keep another empty mold nearby in case we got to dump it off quick and we have extra. We don't want to waste it. I get these cups on Amazon. They have the measurements on them. I would not recommend using these cups unless you need to mix a tiny bit, but these are extremely difficult to pour from. When they pour, instead of coming out here, they like to drip down here and come out the bottom. Just a mess. They can be used, but they're not easy to use. I'm going to make 80. So I'm going to do 40. It's 50-50. Always 50-50. Part A, part B. Alcohol. This is rubbing alcohol. I got the container from the Dollar Tree. It's just a fine mist. Sometimes, especially in the winter months, you'll get static. Like, it will attract static, especially the shiny molds. You want to take your alcohol and just give it a quick mist. That's going to knock down any static that's going on. You want to let it sit till it dries up a little bit. You want to keep the alcohol handy because you're going to use that as well for your air bubbles. So I'm going to pour 40 of part A. When pouring, when mixing, when doing anything while handling the resin, eliminate the bubbles the best you can. You don't want to be like, pouring it. You don't want to create more bubbles than you have to. Now, another important thing, I'm going to do part B, but I got to hold it up to my face so I can see. It needs to be perfect. If there's going to be any more of one or the other, you always want it to be part B, which is the hardener. You always want to wipe your caps clean before putting the lid back on, because especially the hardener, because your lid can harden on there and then you'd be mad. Okay, so it's 50 part A, 50 part B, and now you need to mix it for 3 minutes. If you do not mix it fully, it will not cure. It will stay sticky forever. You can see how it's like stringy. You want that all to be one. Now, when you mix it, you don't want to be, you want to create the least amount of air bubbles. So be mindful when you're mixing it, you're not, you know, whipping it. You want to be sure to scrape the bottom, scrape the sides as you're doing it, and do it for a full 3 minutes. Okay, see how clear it is now? Now you want to let it sit. You have about 30 minutes of work time. The more you make, the faster it's going to cure. So keep that in mind. If this cup was full, we'd have less time. And you want to let it sit, and don't be afraid to tap it. And you will see the air bubbles come up. There's no way to eliminate them fully, but what we're trying to do is have the least amount. Okay. You can also tap it when it gets in your mold. You can tap your mold. It'll bring them to the top. You can also squirt your alcohol, but you can't use too much or you'll counteract and nothing will set up. Okay. So let this sit for a few minutes. And you can see in my cup now, there's air bubbles. But if you were aggressive with this, there would be a lot. Trust me on that, okay? So we've already sprayed our mold with the alcohol to eliminate the static. So now you want to have something in your hand to help guide it into any intricate areas where this is pretty, you know, a pretty big open space. If you had something like this, you might have to help drag the resin into these little sections. But this should be all right. We're trying to create the least amount of air bubbles, right? So we're going to start in this corner and we're going to pour ever so slowly. Oh, you know what? I don't know if this is level. Dang it. You want to have a level surface. That is so important. We're just going to go with it. But make sure your surface is level, because if it is not, you'll see. If it's off a little bit, you will see when your mold is full what that looks like. And if it's a tiny bit, you could get away with it. It'll just be a little crooked. But the more level, the better the outcome. Okay, so I'm just pouring. I'm not pouring it high. I'm pouring it nice and slow. And I mean high, I'm not like holding it up in the air. I'm not winging it all over the place. I'm just kind of letting the resin do its thing. I am going to move to this side so I can see what's going on over here, because I don't know. Yeah, see, I don't think we're level, because this side shouldn't be full with this side, but whatever. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll be close. Now, the clear, this product here, it does have an odor. It is recommended that you are in a well-ventilated area. It is recommended you wear gloves. That is all up to you. It's your body. It's your life. You do what makes you feel comfortable. I might have to move this. Yeah, so you do what makes you feel comfortable with everything. If you got to open a window, if you got to put on a mask, a ventilator, whatever. Okay. So we're nice and slow. Nice and slow. If you could see this right now, there is minimal bubbles. Be patient with yourself. Allow yourself grace. Learn by doing. Every time you do something, you're going to learn something. What to do better next time. Think about it when you cook a meal. How many times do you say, that was really good, but next time I'll add more salt, or I'll add less salt, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. And when you're getting to where you're about to fill your mold up, slow down, because allow it to level itself, because that's usually where overflow happens. People think, oh no, I got this much room, but it's still leveling itself out. As you can see, it's doing that by itself. It's slow, but it's doing it. And then you want to make sure that it's not concave. You want to make sure it is as high as the mold itself, because when you go to glue this down, you want it to get surface to surface, right? Because if it's concaved, then it's going to be hard to, you know, get full contact. All right, so we're going to put a little bit more in this mold. Okay, and like I said, there are minimal air bubbles in this right now, but I'm going to take my alcohol and I'm going to, not close to it, just let the mist fall down on it. Not too much, and you will see the air bubbles disappear. We're going to go ahead and fill this one up. This one's got dust and stuff in it, but whatever. I was trying to do an experiment with this one and it did not go well. So, and as time goes on, your resin gets thicker. So I always suggest if you have real small intricate molds, like this one has a bunch of them, do those first. And really with the intricate molds and the matte finish, air bubbles aren't really that obvious where they are when you have something like this that's crystal clear. So a lot of times, you know, all the details and such hides most of the imperfections. But, you know, it's a good way to practice. Let's see what this does. Oh, we might have just enough to get this full. Maybe. I'm getting every drop out of here. It's self-leveling, so this should level itself out. I am creating air bubbles by doing this, but there's already fuzz and stuff in this one anyway, so it should be all right. Okay, give that a second to do its thing. You can also stamp this down if you have any air bubbles. Now you can see right there, I don't know how well you can see, this area right here that I just forced it all in. You can see the air bubbles. Oh, can you see them? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my alcohol. I can see that one has an indent. I'm going to go ahead and do it over here because by tapping that, it brought some to the surface. And there's a tiny bit right there, but it took most of them away. Look right here. Don't look at that weird thing. That's the dried resin from before. Can't hold it there too long because I don't want to make it not level. As you saw, I already had cured resin there and I just poured over it. That's fine too. Some people use fire. I don't like that. I didn't have good results from it, so it's been foolproof for me with the alcohol. So we'll let these dry, and when they dry, it should come out crystal clear like this. So if you were to put an image behind it, that's what it would look like. See the difference? Crystal clear. This does take 24 hours to demold. I do have an affiliation link with Alumilite with a discount code. If you go to scrappysrustics.com, in the menu area, you'll see it says affiliates. It's called Alumilite. It's probably backwards to you. Alumilite. And right next to it is the code, and I believe it's 10% off. Sign up for their emails because they have some great deals. Remember to have fun. I hope this helps you in your clear resin adventure. Feel free to share this so we all can learn together. Thanks for watching.